Welcome back, friends, to Life Coaching for Mompreneurs. Today, we're diving into something you do every single day without realizing it. And it's either building your future or keeping you stuck. What I'm talking about is self talk. What you say to yourself when no one's listening, the thoughts that pass through your mind on autopilot, the quiet soundtrack playing underneath every decision, every doubt, and every dream. Let's dive in. Welcome to Remix Moments with Martine, where we will remix your mindset one moment at a time. I'm your host, Martine Williams, and I'm here to bring you a quick burst of inspiration, insight, and a fresh spin on your mompreneur journey. In just a few minutes, we'll remix your mindset, energize your day, and keep you moving forward with purpose. Let's dive in to today's moment. So, what really inspired me with today's episode was there's this video, and I'm pretty sure it went viral, but it's this, what do you call him? She's reciting a poem and a poet, sorry. She's reciting this poem and you're listening to her talk, and it's like she's having this conversation with someone in a coffee shop. And they are saying like all of these like negative things to her, like she should be further along and can't believe she's not on Broadway and that she's not married, that she doesn't have any kids, and just all of this like negative, like bullyish almost. And like as I'm listening to this, I'm like, I wanted to like jump through the screen and like go find the girl that she was sitting with. I'm like, who would talk to someone that way? And then you get to the end of the video and you realize that she's having a conversation with herself. And then, like, literally the tears. So I went from anger to sadness in like a split second, because when I realized that, I'm like, wow, like the power of our own self talk. And it also, like, kind of stirred up in me, like, how if you heard someone talking to a friend of yours in that way, in the way that you talk to yourself, of course you would like defend her and tell that person where they can go. Like you would not allow it, right? But then when it's us talking to ourselves, like we just accept it. And it was just such a powerful reminder for me personally on the power of self talk. And it also reminded me of so many of you and so many of my clients who are stuck in a thought loop of negative self talk. And so I'm like, let's talk about that here on the podcast. And I'll link up the video that I saw on Instagram, and maybe you've seen it, but she's got like this white lace dress on and she's just her and a mic, and it's super powerful. And if you don't cry, well, some people are just not criers, and I'm not typically a crier, but I watched it 2 times, and the second time it really got me because I'm like, oh my gosh, like listen to the way she's talking to herself, and you don't even realize it. So, self talk isn't just rah rah motivation or daily affirmations. It's the repetitive voice that shapes how you see yourself and how you show up in your life and your business as well. And let's be real, like some of you and sometimes me, we're walking through our day seeing things like, I always procrastinate. I'm no good with time. No one really sees me. No one values me. I never follow through. And here's the thing, the words you speak over yourself become the life you live. That is the power of those words in your life. And research backs this up. So this is just not just something I'm saying. Studies show that the average person has 60 to 70,000 thoughts per day, and over 80% of them are negative. It's what the brain does. And 95% of those thoughts are the same ones you had yesterday. So if you're not intentionally shifting your self talk, you're just reinforcing yesterday's limitations on today's potential. I want to say that again. If you're not intentionally, it's not going to be on accident. You have to intentionally shift your self talk. You're just reinforcing yesterday's limitations on today's potential. So think about it. If 80% of your thoughts are negative and 95% of them are on repeat, like, what do you think that's doing to your belief system, your energy, and your results? I see it all the time. I experience it all the time because I've been telling my clients here recently, like to think back to when you had a toddler. How many times did you have to redirect the toddler from doing what they wanted to do, even in the midst of a temper tantrum, to what you knew they needed or what was best for them? I want you to think of your brain in that way. You have to keep redirecting it intentionally, especially if you've had and as the science shows us, negative thoughts on repeat. You have to have intentional thought creation. And this is something that we teach, or I teach inside my coaching. I teach something called the Triple C Belief Breakthrough Method. And it's how you shift your self talk in a way that actually sticks because you know how to manage, you know how to direct your brain versus letting the brain direct you. Because a belief is just a thought that you have decided is true. That's it. And there's sentences going across your brain all day long, every day. And you get to decide which one you're going to believe. And you get to decide, even if it is true, how is that making me feel? And is that helping me activate the actions that's required to get the result? If not, it's not useful, even if it's true. And here's the thing, you don't need to eliminate all the negative thoughts. What you need is the awareness and the skill set to interrupt the loop because the negative thoughts are going to keep coming. So you're not going to be able to eliminate all of the negative thoughts, but you need the awareness and the skill set to interrupt the loop and intentionally create a thought that serves where you want to go and how you want to feel. So the Triple C Belief Breakthrough Method is, the first one is catch it. That's the first C. You must get aware. What are you saying to yourself on repeat? Don't judge it. Don't shame it. Just notice it. And keep a note in your phone for one day. Like just keep a note of all of those thoughts in your notes app because your phone's with you all the time. So just keep a thought log of all the thoughts you're having that day. Track the messages that you're sending yourself and you will be amazed. And again, not to be like beating yourself up about it. I tell my clients this all the time. This is not an opportunity for you to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm believing that. I can't believe I'm thinking that. What a horrible person I am, or how stupid. That is not why we're doing this. It's to get awareness. And the second step is to check it. Is it true? Is it helpful? Is it aligned with who you want to become and the actions that you need to take? Because your actions follow your feelings and your feelings are coming from your thoughts. So we have to be aware and catching and checking because you might realize you're believing things like, I always mess this up. Or if I slow down, I'll fall behind. I'm not just like her. Any of those thoughts. Like they're not facts. They're often fear disguised as logic. They feel so true. But this is why you can see two people with the same diagnosis, the same crisis, and respond completely different because they have two different trains of thought. So we want to be checking it. Hey friend, can we talk about summer sleep for a second? Because if you've ever tried to fall asleep or stay asleep on a hot, sticky night, then you know the struggle. And I've had those nights where I'm flipping the pillow, kicking the covers off, sticking one leg out, and thinking, this is miserable. And that's why I'm so excited about my new Cozy Earth sheets. They are temperature regulating magic. I'm telling you, they wick away the heat and moisture and they help you to sleep several degrees cooler. And honestly, I felt the difference night one, and they are incredibly soft. You just slide right into those sheets and you feel cool all night long. And right now, as I'm recording this, I'm literally also wearing their joggers. And oh my word, they are buttery soft, they're breathable, and ridiculously comfortable. I wear them to lounge around the house, to work from home, and honestly, some days I never take them off. So I want to invite you to go to cozyearth.com and use the code Martine for 40% off their best-selling sheets, their pajamas, and more. And here is the kicker. Cozy Earth gives you a 100-night sleep trial and a 10-year warranty on all bedding. So there's zero risk. Luxury shouldn't be out of reach. And with Cozy Earth, it isn't. And the third one is to change it. This is where you rewrite the script. Not with toxic positivity and faking till you make it, but with truth-based possibility. So an example could be like, I'm becoming a woman who honors her time. Maybe you can't jump all the way to I always, do what I say I'm going to do when I say I'm going to do it. Maybe that's just too much of a jump. But you can create a bridge thought. I'm becoming a woman who honors her time and does what she says she's going to do. Or maybe it's I take imperfect action that aligns with my values. Or I am capable of change even if I've never done this before. Like one train of thought is going to keep you in the problem and the other one's going to put you into possibility. I really want you to think about that. When you're looking at your thoughts, is the thought taking you into possibility or keeping you in the problem? If it's keeping you in the problem, is that where you want to stay? And sometimes we need to sit with the emotion of the situation. So I'm not saying bypass emotions here, but once you processed it and you're ready to move, the action is going to follow the emotion, and the emotion is going to come from the thought. So in coaching, we go beyond just replacing the thought. We look at what's underneath them. Like, where did this self talk originate? Where do you think it came from? Where did it start? What label or experience is it tied to? We just did a whole episode on labels. Where is this? Where is it tied to? And here's a big one for me. What does this thought protect you from? What is it protecting you from doing? What is it protecting you from not doing? Because often self-talk is just a protective mechanism trying to keep you safe from failure, embarrassment, or disappointment. I always ask myself, like, how is procrastinating protecting me? What is it trying to protect me from? And what is the thoughts that I'm having that's creating that feeling? But when you bring those thoughts into light, you take their power away and you reclaim yours. So that's why the first step is so important, is to get full awareness around what am I actually thinking right now, so that you can take your power back and stop giving it away to the circumstance, because your brain's going to try and tell you it's the circumstance, but circumstances are neutral. It's your thought about it that's going to create the outcome. So that's when we create the language that aligns with your true identity, and not just the version of you that's surviving, but the version of you that's ready to thrive. When you get your power back and we recreate some language that aligns with your true identity, not just the version of you that's surviving, that's when you're in a place to thrive. Sometimes I'll ask clients to keep a thought log for 48 hours. Like, we do this for our nutrition and our diet, and write down everything we're eating and drinking. Because why do we do that? Because we need to track. We need to see exactly what we're eating, what we're drinking, because it's so easy to say, I didn't eat that bad today. And then you actually look at it and you're like, well, forgot about that Coke, or forgot about that scoop of ice cream. So maybe try that for 48 hours and just do a thought log, a thought download. Not to judge yourself again, but to bring your pattern to light. It is eye-opening to realize how often your inner dialogue is doubting your abilities, downplaying your desires, disqualifying you and your potential before you even begin. And once we uncover those patterns, we can trace them back to a label, probably a moment or belief that's ready to be redefined. I was working with a client today, and we were talking about, I was sharing with her the I don't know. How many of you say I don't know? How useful is it for you to tell yourself that you don't know? And I've had, like, the mastermind that I'm in right now, like, we're not allowed to come to the call and say we don't know. And the first time I heard her say that, I was like, but I really don't know. It is factual that I don't know what I'm supposed to do next. But what if you gave yourself the opportunity, if you just had to guess? And that's what I said to her. I said, if you just had to guess, or like take a stab at it, what would be some things that you would do? And she gave me 5 things. The reason we say we don't know is because we're afraid we're going to get it wrong, or there's a right way to do something, or a wrong way to do something. And once you tell yourself, I don't know, you shut down the possibility of figuring out how to do it. So just notice that one statement. How many times do you find yourself in your business saying, I don't know? Or as a mom, I don't know. And instead, what's my best guess? If I had to guess, what do I think the answer would be here? It opens up your brain to possibility, and you will have some things to write down. Try it on this week. It's a game changer. And I told her, I said, now you're going to start noticing it. And it's kind of like when you realize, like, when someone's manipulating you, or like you kind of figure them out, you're like, oh, not today. Like, I got you figured out now. I do that all the time with my own brain. I'm like, oh, I got you figured out now. I see what's happening here, and not today, because I have an impact to make. I have women to reach, and I'm not going to spin out in confusion around the I don't know. It's an ongoing process. So I'm definitely not speaking from perfection here. I'm speaking from progress and what I've learned. But that right there could just break through so many things for you. Your mind's probably blowing right now thinking about that. So when your self-talk changes, you stop waiting for confidence, you build it. You make clearer decisions because the noise quiets down, that confusion loop quiets down. You stop performing and you start leading with purpose and peace. It's not about being perfect. It's about becoming more honest, more kind, and more powerful in the way that you speak to yourself. And you don't have to keep repeating the same 80% of thoughts that aren't serving you. Let's update your inner dialogue so it works for you, not against you. And you can do this. It's intentional thought creation. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your self-talk. This is not just a quote. It's a pattern I've seen again and again and again. And I've experienced it over and over and over again. What you believe and speak to yourself becomes a foundation for every decision, every habit, every boundary you hold or don't hold. So try it on this week. Come let me know on Instagram at Martine31Williams. Let me know, what were some thoughts that you discovered this week? How did you shift it? How did you change it? Are you catching yourself saying, I don't know? I can't wait to hear how this will transform everything for you. This is the work. I told my client today, this is the work. And it's an ongoing work. It's not a one and done. This is why coaching is so important, because you can't always see these thoughts on your own. They're blind spots. And you say things and they've been so normalized in your own brain that you don't even catch them. You're going to be more aware of them now because I've given you the method. But when you have a coach who can actually hear some of the things that you're saying, it's amazing. Even for me, and I feel like I do a really great job of managing my mind and my brain. But when I get on with my coach, she will pull things out like, did you hear what you just said? I'm like, nope. And it's powerful to have a thought partner. It's powerful to have someone to help you to break through some of this, because you didn't get all wound up in these thoughts overnight. These beliefs have been there and they might be deeply rooted. And so don't expect yourself to just flip a switch. Sometimes it is just a decision. I'm no longer going to think that. It's not serving me. I'm no longer going to think that. But sometimes it takes some unwinding and coaching in that process and accountability. So if that is something that's resonating with you, I'm highly encouraging you to go to martinewilliams.com/clarity and book your clarity call so we can get really clear on, is this a problem? It's so common. It's so common. And I'd love to talk with you about it. So you can go to martinewilliams.com/clarity. Come find me on Instagram at Martine31Williams. Let me know how this episode impacted you. And I'll catch you on our next episode. Well, that's it, friends, for this remix moment. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me. And I hope that you are feeling inspired and ready to take on whatever comes your way. Remember, even small moments can lead to big changes. If this moment made a difference, be sure to subscribe, share with your fellow moms, and leave me a quick review. Seriously, it means the world to me to hear from you. And until next time, I am believing in you, and I will catch you in the next moment.